everyone. I just wanted to take a few minutes and do a short video kind of just talking about the why and how to sponsor ambassadors. Um, our team has just boomed in the last few days. I can't hardly believe it, how much we've all grown and how much y'all are doing, which is incredible. What a blessing from the Father. But I just want to also kind of talk with some of you who maybe have been a little bit nervous about sponsoring ambassadors and going forth with that. Maybe you're brand new to Plexus, maybe you're just starting this journey, and so the thought of trying to sponsor someone else might seem kind of intimidating. But I want to kind of remind everyone that you have an incredible upline, not just myself, but with Lori Ward Harrison, April Owens, Heather Grenier, Donna Malone for many of you. You have an incredible upline who can support you and encourage you along this journey. And, nothing's better when you're starting something new than to grab a friend and say, hey, come along with me on this and let's figure this out together. And so don't be afraid, even if it's just your first few days in Plexus or even your first few months in Plexus, to say, come along and join me on this and sponsor an ambassador. Why is it important with Plexus to sponsor an ambassador? Well, the truth is there are several reasons. First for me is that I want to share the blessing. I know what it's like to go into Walmart or Target and put something in your basket and think to yourself, oh, I really want this or I really need this, but can we afford it? And the blessing of Plexus is that a lot of that burden is gone for me. I can go now and pick up something at the store and not feel guilty about it. We've even had a kind of a family emergency this week for some of you who keep up with me on Facebook. Our eldest son broke his hand, and in the past that would cause some stress as we try to figure out how to afford the doctor bills, how to handle that. And of course it's been an inconvenience a little bit, but it's not been that stress. So I just share again, it's not the same. The blessing of Plexus is so rich that I want to share it with other people. I want them to have that financial freedom. The other reason why that I share is because you can't continue to rank up in Plexus as a company unless you sponsor ambassadors. If you want to move up from an ambassador to silver, to gold, to senior gold, to ruby, to senior ruby, on up to emerald, sapphire, and diamond, you have to sponsor ambassadors. That's just how Plexus goes about that. And so that's the second reason, is that if you want to rank up and go on a yearly trip to Hawaii or get that Plexus Lexus, sponsoring ambassadors is part of the key to doing that. The other third reason why that we encourage you to sponsor ambassadors is for increased pay. We have 11 different ways that we are paid with Plexus, and I looked last night and I believe 2/3 of them, if I'm correct, at least 2/3 of them come from sponsoring ambassadors. If you want to take part in the pay points, which is like our profit sharing, or if you want to get bonuses for when you do up rank, or if you want to take part in the emerald pool, the sapphire pool, the diamond pool, if you want to do all that, then you have to sponsor ambassadors in order to do that. Most of our pay scale is based on sponsoring ambassadors, and so some people can bring home a pretty good check and pay for their own Plexus by just doing the retail and by preferred customers, which is wonderful, but you're missing out on so much more if you don't sponsor ambassadors. So some of you may be saying, okay, I get it. I get the why. Tell me how. And I understand that. The how is tricky. Now, I'm going to kind of step aside and say something here in a minute. I am a person of faith. I'm a Christ follower. So my first how is that I pray, and I try to do it daily, for God to lead prospective customers, prospective ambassadors into my path, and for Him to give me the right words to speak, to share. And that's important to me, and I just bathe it in prayer. And so as a Christ follower, that is number one for me. Another thing is that I try to plant seeds. Now this can be done several ways, and the way I call planting seeds is, say someone has asked me about Plexus and they want to know how much Plexus costs. Well, I'll go through I say, well, we have three options. We have retail, which most people understand. We have preferred, which is an incredible option, and I love preferred, and I encourage, to me, there's no reason to go retail, so I try to share a lot about preferred. But then I also plant that little seed and say, and our third option is for $35 a year, you can become an ambassador and get it at wholesale, plus possibly make some supplemental income for your family. Now, ideally, I would like for everyone to try Plexus first before making that commitment. But really, it's more about me planting that little seed, that little thought in their head about, hey, well, for $35 a year, that's not much to become an ambassador and get a discount. Maybe I could make enough to cover my own and some additional income for our family. So it's kind of planting a seed. I also plant seeds by my posts on Facebook. And we do have to be very careful about what we share on Facebook or Twitter, and Instagram about what we make, because we can't share exactly what we make. But you can say things like, you know, in relation to even our situation with my son and his hand, I could say something like, thanks, I'm so thankful for the financial blessing and opportunity that Plexus provides. The expense of this broken hand is not near as much of a concern as it would have been a year ago. Or I was able to take my children to the movies today and just to enjoy some time with them because of the freedom, the financial freedom that Plexus has offered me. Just little things like that plant seeds, or saying something like, you know what, Christmas is not going to be a burden this year because of the financial freedom we found through Plexus. Things like that you're just saying, look, it has been a financial blessing. And I do share that at times, because that was honestly one of the things that tipped me over to signing up to become an ambassador, was that financial freedom. So I know that for many people that is something they need to hear. So again, prayer, planting little seeds when someone even asks about things like pricing and questions, posts. Also, if someone is asking you about becoming an ambassador, one thing I try to encourage is just to answer their questions. Don't overload them with tons of information. For example, if they're asking you, hey, does that $35, is that per year or per month? Well, just answer the question and say, well, it's per year. Don't puke out a whole ton of answer for them saying, and here's how you sign up, and give them the whole process. Just answer the questions that they're asking you. And you could say, well, it's $35 for the whole year, which pays for your website. Are you considering this? Are you interested in this? It's always great if you can, as you're in a conversation with someone about Plexus, to end it with a question, because then it gives you more information about what they're really thinking and where they're headed with things. And then the other thing is, there are some great videos online that explain the signing up process, our compensation videos, which have just come out from Plexus themselves, which is incredible, Plexus Worldwide, the compensation videos. And those are great to post and share occasionally, but also if someone starts asking you questions about becoming an ambassador, you can just send them those videos and lets them think about them. There is also one that actually explains in detail on YouTube. In fact, there's actually several about how to sign up and walking them through that process, which I think is so helpful. So those are some tools you can use. Again, just planting seeds, sharing that thought and praying over it and trusting. And the final thing I say is, do not pressure anyone into signing up for Plexus, because if you have to pressure them into it, they're never going to have the kind of response, kind of business that you're really desiring and hoping for them. It has to be something that makes sense for their family. It has to be something that makes sense for them. So just pray for them, pray about it, and I even say that to them, pray about it, and let me know how I can help you out, because I'd love to have you join me on this journey. So I hope that helps as far as the why and how of sponsoring ambassadors. And again, look at other resources that we have in our notes section, files section, on your training pages. So have a great day, and bless you.